Hello YouTube, it's your pal Joey T. Another vlog done straight out of the movie theater. And that was my alarm that for some reason I cannot fix. Doing this very original vlog in my car after a movie screening that may or may not be similar to a dozen of other YouTube series. I get that a lot, let's be honest. It's not an original concept. I'm almost positive there are dozens of YouTubers that do it anyways. But you know what? I love doing it the first time, getting those fresh thoughts out of my head onto something for you guys to check out. And the movie in question is the dreaded sequel, The Nut Job to Nutty by Nature. So to say I was disappointed about seeing this movie is an understatement. The first Nut Job movie, if you guys don't watch my reviews, let me give you a 2-word review of that movie. It sucked. I hated that movie. It was one of the worst movie-going experiences I had to suffer from in 2014. I got into the theater, I left with a migraine. The characters were stupid beyond all belief. The plot was unoriginal. The animation wasn't even that good. Granted, it was an indie film, but still, it wasn't that good. And it relied so much on pop culture, merchandising, Gangnam Style. It was a horrible mess, and I dreaded the fact that I knew they were going to have a sequel. It was announced right afterwards. They made their money back that they were going to be having a sequel, and I was not looking forward to it. If anything, I went into this saying that maybe by the slight chance these animators and filmmakers, if it was the same team of people working on that film, by a slight chance, hopefully they learn a lesson, hopefully they do something good. And, you know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the movie I saw is definitely not the same movie as The Nut Job. Dare I say it? I'll go out of my way and say that you don't even need to see the first Nut Job in order to enjoy this film. A little bit of background. The movie features the characters from the first film. Their home is being invaded by a mayor who is very shady, and he tries to make a profit off of taking the park, which, if you didn't know already, the animals left the park to go to the nut shop that now blows up for no reason whatsoever other than the character's own stupidity, which they seem very, what's the word I'm looking for, aware of the fact that they are that stupid. The nut shop is destroyed, and now they gotta go back to the park, and the park is being turned into an amusement park because the owner wants to merit the profit off of having something, because there's no way you're gonna make a profit off of a park. And this guy is very shady and just wants to make a lot of money. And that's really all you need to know, because the plot is all over the place, but that's also the film's strength. The problem with the first Nut Job film is that this is the movie they probably wanted to make. The plot tries to have a contained formula in the vein of a narrative of Pixar or Disney, in that you have a basic conflict and the character needs to resolve it. Whereas if you look at this film, it is really all over the place. It really feels like a Looney Tunes collection of shorts. Like, the first 20 minutes is his own thing. The next one, the dog is taken. Now they got to take care of the dog. The next 30 minutes, they got to shoot down the amusement park. And then the last one, they got rats. One of them played by Jackie Chan. Rats, I mean mice. One played by Jackie Chan, who, by the way, features some very interesting animation choices, whereas his tail is kind of like lifting him up like a stand, and it's a cool little visual that I didn't think I would ever say about a Nut Job movie, but to me it actually worked very well. It worked to the movie's favor, and that's what I think really worked about this, is that the movie actually took advantage of its animation, it took advantage of its budget, and I feel like if this is a movie that learned its lessons from the first film, it did relatively well. Is it perfect? No. I'm going to go as far as to say that this movie is an okay animated film. I'm not going to get some Blu-ray or anything, but if I saw it on TV, this is what I want to think about when I think of The Nut Job. I will say that when the first Nut Job movie came out, it was really big on Netflix, and I found that a lot of people were watching The Nut Job through watching it through online streaming. So part of why this movie did well is probably contributed to Netflix and online streaming. And all I gotta say is I think they really took advantage of their animation budget. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I mentioned the plot is a little bit all over the place, and that's part of the movie's flaws, is that it is all over the place. But the humor is surprisingly spot on. Like, I mentioned the animation, they took full advantage of the animation. It's when the first opening minutes of the movie, and we're introduced to the characters, they do something that the first movie didn't do, which is it just goes into, oh, I'm the squirrel, happy-go-lucky, and everybody hates me, and I like to steal, but I should be helping out my friends. Whereas in this movie, the Will Arnett squirrel character is introduced with like a film serial, like something out of the 1950s, and it's cute. It actually looks like a neat little homage to Chuck Jones type shorts, or even like Tex Avery's type of, what were those shorts where he's the Man of Tomorrow, the House of Tomorrow type of thing, where it's like a film reel and a parody of a film reel. And they make a lot of jokes that surprisingly work. You got one joke where it could be as stupid as a big raid of animal exterminators going into a parking lot, and one of them trying to straighten out their car. So, and it's just focusing on this one guy out of, oh, we're gonna go attack the squirrels, oh, let me go fix my car. And they focus on that for like a nice 15 seconds, and it's like, oh. But I don't know, something about that disconnection is funny. For some reason, it's almost like they wanted to have a central conflict in this film, and then they realized, screw it, it's not going to work. Like, within the first 15 minutes, you got the character saying, oh, the nut factory is making you very lazy and boring and fat. But you need to go back to the forest and the park and become more self-reliant and be an animal and all that crap. But somehow, some way, shape, or form, the character's like, well, I'm good, I'm gonna do my own thing, and then F it, I'm just gonna go back to the park. It's like they completely disregard this whole moral thing they wanted to go for. Even by the end of the film, they're like, we didn't learn a lesson. In fact, the whole idea is that the movie kind of makes fun of that. There was really no lesson learned or anything really learned. It's just a silly montage of Looney Tunes shorts of animals, and that's kind of what I thought the first movie could have been like. The villain is goofy and over the top, voiced by Bobby Moynihan, who at this point is a very good animation voice actor. And I think his role, and I think his daughter was the Girl Scout girl, but I don't think she was because she owned a dog, I think, or something like that. No, Precious was owned by the other guys, and I guess she's totally unrelated. I guess they have another redhead little girl character. I guess that's the hallmark, is that all these movies got to have a redhead girl character, I guess. And she was funny. She had a funny scene where, for some reason, she gets she's like the Darla Dimple character, but then at the end of the movie, she gets shot with a dart that was intended for the animals, and it makes her all loopy and goofy. And I'm saying all this thinking that, you know, I made a thing on Facebook saying, and Twitter specifically, that I'm going to be reviewing The Nut Job 2 as part of Catch-Up Month. And I guess I was saying that because I know a lot of people were looking forward to me talking about The Nut Job 2. I knew this was the first thing I had to do. The only screening I went to was a 3D screening, which I was kind of dreading because I'm paying extra money to go see this movie, which I wasn't looking for to begin with. But all that said and done, I don't know how much else I can add to this film. I don't know what I'm going to say differently about this film that's going to change, or really I can really contribute, other than that this is a movie that took advantage of something more than its first film did. And I think when it comes to sequels to movies, especially mediocre films that we worry about, there's always the potential that the filmmakers, or you get a new crew. Because I looked back and I found that the writers of this film are nowhere near working on what they did in the first film. These are new writers and a new director, and they bring in a new vision. And it's almost like they saw this project and they're like, what are ways where we can make this funny and engaging? What if we make a movie that I want to laugh at? And best example of this, in the first movie, one of the worst scenes is when the character Surly is all stuffed and full, and he just farts, and there's no real context to it or anything. The character just farts, and it's not really building up to any joke or anything. It's not like in Blazing Saddles or Swiss Army Man, where the fart is an added character trait, or it really adds to the tone and setting of the film. It's just a fart for the sake of a fart, and it's really dumb humor. Whereas in this movie, the character played by Bobby Cannavale is a dog, and he's tortured by this redhead chick, and he can't eat unless he does tricks. And it's established that Precious, the Maya Rudolph character, she's not going to be able to eat unless she gets to do the tricks. So the dog knows that, says that's not good, you're going to starve. So when they starve, they start regurgitating. So the dog regurgitates his meal, thinking that, you know, I had to do this because this is something that kind of just happened. It wasn't just something where it's like, oh, I just puke and eat my own puke for the sake of eating my own puke. It's because he's stuck with this sick moron that he's had to, like, develop strategies to stay alive. And for me, that's actually kind of funny. It's messed up, but it's kind of funny, but it's acknowledging that it's pretty messed up. But that's just one example of how crude humor works in context to the overall tone that they're going for, that the first movie kind of failed at. And I think if you're going to have crude humor or talk about the crude humor, at least acknowledge that there was a reason why they did it and why it worked. And that didn't just go for crude humor. I mentioned, like, simple, silly gags like the car, but, you know, even other things that add to character, like the Andy character was just the girl character, you know, I'm the girl who's gonna stand up and do things for myself type character that we've seen done, and she was played by Katherine Heigl, which only made it more insulting. But for some reason, they actually decided to ditch off of that and really go for their own thing, which is that, you know, in an ironic twist, instead of going for, like, the independent woman, she is kind of like the motherly type character who wants to make everybody more, so it's kind of like an actor thing. I don't know if I'm making a connection here. That's probably going to get me in trouble with a whole bunch of feminist people or whatever internet crowd is going to attack me today. But for some odd reason, she's got these little character quirks that are not original, but actually were better and a better improvement than what we even had. There really wasn't any character quirks or improvements to her character. And I think at this point, I've said everything I've had to say, to the point where, you know, I don't even know if I should do a full Cartoon Palooza review of The Nut Job 2. I think I pretty much said everything I had to say in this one video, unless you feel the need for me to make another video. I didn't necessarily make a spoiler, but if you've seen this kind of movie, you kind of know where this film's going to go anyways, so me spoiling it's not going to be a big deal or anything. But I pretty much gave everything that this movie had, because for the sheer fact that I don't think I'm going to really need to cover it anymore. All I gotta say is The Nut Job 2 was better than I expected it to be. Is it a perfect movie? No. It's, like I said, the plot is just a collection of shorts for the sake of shorts, but they have funny jokes, and some of them all don't work, obviously. But it's not like they're just saying, we're gonna make a kids movie, a cute kids movie that the kids are gonna turn on. Ooh, Gangnam Style. No, it's not like that. They actually tried, they actually had a little bit of effort in this film. If I had to give it a rating, it'd be an okay rating, kind of like the just middle of the road. If I see it on TV, I'd actually be happy to see this on TV. It wouldn't be like the first Nut Job movie where it's just bottom of the barrel crap. They actually tried to do something good, and for that they did an okay job. And I gotta, you know, give them credit for at least changing this curmudgeon's opinion. This guy, you know me, I did not have any anticipation seeing this film, but I gave it a shot. Even the trailer, you know, the trailer was unimpressive. Even the trailer wasn't the film that this was. And even, like, I think it was someone who was working on the film contacted me through that reaction video saying that, you know, the fart joke is not in the movie. That was just added, I guess, by, like, marketing, and it wasn't in the film, and I'm glad it wasn't in the film, and it actually worked without it. Now I'm just rambling. Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature, gets an okay rating. It's not the greatest film. I'm not gonna buy this on Blu-ray or anything, but I'm glad I got a chance to see it, so that, you know, if you are gonna choose by this or the Emoji Movie, I'd rather go see The Nut Job 2. Yeah, Joey Tedesco just told you to rather see a Nut Job sequel than go see the Emoji Movie. That is saying a lot, guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this vlog, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And I'm glad you watched this. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Take care, guys.